Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi semuanya. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Pada hari ini kita akan memulai pertemuan yang ke-10 yang akan dibawakan oleh Pak Bambang dan Bu Rina. Kepada Pak Bambang dan Bu Rina kami persilakan.
Ya baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Ya, kita di pertemuan 10 ini sebelum melakukan pertemuan yang ke-10 kita melakukan yel-yel dulu sebagai penyemangat. Ya, biar semangat. Go inovatif, go global, go plugging. Oke, honorably all participant teachers in the English language competition of video explainer with the theme procedure text. First of all, we pray to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan Yang Maha Esa, because of blessing and mercy. In this morning, we can do our activity or duty in an English competition in making about procedure text. Oke, untuk pertemuan yang ke-10 menyambung pertemuan yang ke-9. Kalau kemarin kita bahas pembuatan skrip dengan penggunaan aplikasi ORE, dengan prakteknya kemarin tentu ya. Kita pertemuan 10 ini membahas tentang closing statement. Untuk penjelasan, pemaparan akan disampaikan Ibu Rina. Kepada Ibu Rina, kami persilahkan.
Oke, thank you Pak Bambang. Untuk materi yang ke-10, di sini ada membuat skrip untuk closing speech, di mana ada tujuan pembelajarannya. Pada pertemuan ini diharapkan siswa dapat pertama, mengetahui ekspresi atau ungkapan yang dibutuhkan dalam menyampaikan closing speech. Yang kedua, menganalisa struktur closing speech dari beberapa closing speech dari vlog yang ada. Yang ketiga, membuat rancangan closing speech. Yang keempat, berlatih closing speech dengan menggunakan orai. Expression in closing speech. Di sini ada 3 untuk expression. The first, having behind us the proudest message of this nation of the world, supported by bla bla bla. Bisa kalian tambahkan sendiri. Secondly, let us therefore brace ourselves to our Nabi and so bear ourselves that if the British Commonwealth and Empire lasts for the thousands of years. Thirdly, let's turn from spectators into participants. Let's recall the inspiring words of U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, who said blah blah blah. Menganalisa struktur closing speech dari beberapa closing speech dari vlog yang ada. Di sini ada 3 tayangan video, jadi saya pertama akan menayangkan video yang pertama untuk acuan kalian dalam membuat skrip closing speech.
Today we're making a special Australian treat. Stick around. Hello, I'm Adrian and this is XOXO Cooks, the weekly cooking show where we make recipes that make you feel great. Today I have a special guest, Lana. Hello! So we're gonna make a famous Australian delicacy today.
We're making fairy bread.
Usually on this show we do things with natural ingredients, no artificial coloring. This
Right.
recipe is not that at all. This is fun.
Yeah.
If you're in Australia and you're under the age of 8, this is what you're going to be eating, and we want to give you a real authentic experience right now while we have Lana to teach us.
It's the best.
Let's do it. And usually it's Wonder Bread. I don't know what bimbo bread is.
No, me either, but we're using it.
It smells
Delicious.
lots of ingredients, but it has wheat flour and bold.
That's good. It's also got
So-
vitamins in it. Good for your health.
There you go.
So you get margarine because you're not meant to make it healthy. Also, margarine spreads easier when you're not toasting bread. Spread it on the bread.
Hundreds and thousands are sprinkles, but like the little dot ones.
Yeah, not the long line ones. We don't like them.
No jimmies.
Oh, is that what they call it?
In Ohio, they call them jimmies.
Who's Jimmy? I don't know. Have a steady hand. I don't. Kind of just like move it around to let it catch on the butter. And then tip off the excess onto the next one. We'll just cut this guy into little triangles. Then we start again. And that's fairy bread.
We did it!
We
Don't
did
eat it yet.
No, don't eat it yet.
So thank you to Lana for being on our show.
No worries. Thanks for having me make fairy bread.
If you have ever heard of this before, please let us know.
Alright.
Wait,
I'm waiting.
if you like videos like this, please give us a thumbs up. We have a new recipe every Monday. And usually they're not recipes like this. Usually they're recipes with like
Healthy food.
quinoa and stuff.
That's so good.
White bread is weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is really good.
Well, thanks, Lana.
No worries.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Video yang pertama tadi itu bisa juga jadi acuan kalian. Tadi juga mengenai prosedur text, di mana di situ dia membuat bahan makanan dan di situ juga ada closing speech-nya. Mungkin buat referensi kalian. Di sini saya akan menunjukkan lagi video yang kedua. Silakan.
Hey guys, today I thought I'd walk you through something called palming. Palming is something I do with the students when I feel like they're a little bit too excited, and it's usually my fault, and I need to bring them back down. For example, today I did the Larry the Lion poem with kindergarten. I got out the carnival snake, and as expected, it was mayhem. So before I jumped into showing them what we were about to be creating, I needed to bring them back down and reel them back in. So this is how palming works. You ask the students to take off glasses that they might be wearing, and so that those kids who do wear glasses don't feel called out, I just say, please take off your glasses, either real or imaginary. Put them carefully on your lap. This is how I go through with the kids. Put both of your hands like this. And I just kind of wait until everybody's sitting like this, trying to figure out what in the world we're doing now. And then I say, please put your hands together and start to rub your hands like this. Don't give them any further instructions. I'm just sitting there watching them, and already they're a little bit more calm because we're bringing it back down. I'm talking a lot softer to them. And I say, when I say to, rub your hands together just a little bit faster. They should start to feel a little warmer. And I tell them, when I say 3, I want you to stop rubbing. I haven't said 3, keep rubbing. They always stop. And what I'm doing right now at this point, when I say 3, I'm demonstrating to them what they'll do. When I say 3, you're going to take the palm of your hand, you're going to put it over your eye, but you'll do it very gently, don't push on your eye. And then wrap your fingers gently around the top of your head and lean your head down. So at that point, I say 3, they all stop, arms up against their chest, head down, fingers cradled around the head. And while they're sitting like this, and I sit like that too, so if they happen to peek, they'll see, oh, she's doing the same thing, I need to go back to doing it. I tell them in a really calm, mellow voice what I expect from them when we take our hands off our eyes and what we'll be doing next. So in this case, I said today, boys and girls, in just a moment, when I say 3 again, you're going to put your hands in your lap. You can put your glasses, real or imaginary, back on. Please make sure you're listening carefully and sitting correctly so you'll know what to do. And then I count really slowly. 1, 2, 3. And at that point, glasses are on and they're a lot more calm. Everything's a lot more mellow. It works best if you make sure that everybody's doing it. But if you see a kid who's, back to warming up their hands or breathing into their hands because you know they're going to do that, don't call that child out. Suddenly everybody will turn around and you've lost everybody. Just gently go over, tap that child so that they know, and then that you're not disrupting the rest of the group. So that's something called palming. I've done it all the way up to 4th grade. It's a great way to really bring the kids back in. So I hope that helps for you, and I'd love to hear if you give it a shot or any other kind of mindfulness meditation kind of thing you might do in your art room. Thanks, guys.
Video kedua ini mungkin sudah mendapatkan idenya sedikit. Jadi ini video kedua sama dengan video pertama, masih berhubungan dengan prosedur teks. Jadi kalian membuat closing speech-nya harus dengan isi atau konten yang kalian nanti akan rekam videonya, seperti itu. Oke, jadi saya akan menunjukkan lagi video yang ketiga sebagai bahan acuan kalian membuat closing speech.
Hey guys, can you tell by the ensemble what all of my classes all day long 24/7 are doing? Painting! Everybody be painting, friends. And I have made some new discoveries about painting with my students, about a couple of supplies that I'm really digging and loving, and a couple of paints that I'm really enjoying. So I thought I'd share it with you today. And one of my new discoveries are something that you're gonna be like, that's not new, Stevens. Of course, ice cube trays, but these ice cube trays, and this is after everybody painting, so they'd be a lot better if I didn't do stuff like that. These ice cube trays actually come with a lid. What? Yeah. They are lidded ice cube trays. Why somebody would want lidded ice cube trays, I don't know. But for an art teacher, they'd be perfect. And the reason I love them so is because they are keeping my paints nice and fresh. You know, usually I'm like a big lover of the egg carton because the whole recycle thing is, you know, a maze. But the thing with the egg cartons lately I've noticed is my styrofoam ones, they're leaking and it's just drying out the paint. I'm losing paint. My ones that I used to swear by, the plastic ones with the double fold, the way they're molding them now, the little cup for the paint is a lot smaller and the paint tends to run one color to the other. So these lidded paint trays, when I'm not spilling the paint everywhere, have been my favorite thing ever. The other thing that I absolutely love are doggy dishes. Ta-da! I would tilt this towards you, but you just saw how that happened. How well that went swimmingly. So on one side is water, on the other side is a sponge. How about I just flip the camera around and show you and just make it a lot easier for you to understand. And I never know where to look. Am I looking at you here? Am I looking at you here? Am I looking at you here? I don't know. So if I'm looking at you all over the place, then stop moving around.
So if you promise not to judge me by the state of my painting trays, then I promise not to, I don't know. I can't make promises I can't keep, which would be any promise I tend to make. So here's what our painting setup looks like. Let me back it up a little bit. My students sit 4 kiddos to a table, and without the coffee, of course, and they have a messy mat usually underneath. They have a tray, my lidded tray of paint, and in the doggy dish, you see a sponge and water. In just a minute, I'm going to share with you a little clip of me teaching my kindergarten students for the very first time how to use these trays. This is what the trays look like after 2 classes of kindergarten, 1 class of 2nd grade, and 2 classes of 1st grade have used them, so not too shabby.
Yes, it's called a paintbrush because you paint with it. You can't brush your teeth with it. That's just ridiculous if you have colorful teeth.
Whenever I am painting, my paintbrush, she is like a ballerina. She is always on her tippy toes, like this.
Boys and girls, whenever you're painting, it's important that you keep your paintbrush on her tippy toes because paintbrush ballerinas are always on their tippy toes. They never ever scoot around on their bottom
Because nobody wants to go
to
the booty scooting ballet.
booty stop the leg.
No, that's just ridiculous.
My
Paintbrush
paintbrush
is like a ballerina. She's always on her tippy toes. She never, ever, ever scoots around on her bottom. Because nobody wants to go What is it called?
The danger zone.
This is called the danger zone. Because if you put your hands right here, your hands are in danger of getting all dirty. So you want to keep your hands at the edge of the danger zone. But don't get back! And then last but not least, these are called the bristles of the brush. So on my real paintbrush, here's the handle. Here's a nice little pillow for your fingers in case your finger needs to take a little nap. You can squish it right there. What's that called?
Danger zone.
The danger zone. If you put your hands there, then your hands will look like mine. And then last but not least, did you see how I was holding it? You can't paint with that hand. And last but not least, these are called the bristles. Do not take your paintbrush and dip here, and then dip here, and then dip there, and then dip there. Because who can raise their hand and tell me what would happen to our colors? Jayla?
They would mix up.
They will get all mixed up. Right now, the colors look so beautiful. And there's all these different ones to choose from. If you take your paintbrush and dip here, and dip there, and dip there, and dip there, the colors will get all mixed up.
Today,
I pinky promise
I think it's proud
that when I am painting,
when I'm painting,
I will not
I will not
mix all
mix
the
up
colors up.
the colors up.
Because
Because
it won't be
it won't be
beautiful and colorful.
beautiful and colorful
Like me.
like me.
Promise to clean my brush
Promise to clean my brush
before I get a new color.
before I get a new color.
Goodness. Oh, but can you paint this little bitty spot?
You forgot-
Pick maybe a color you haven't used before and paint around your edge, please.
You forgot to or I could just paint more blue.
What did you draw?
Lines.
Lines, lines, lines.
Angel.
Look how
Oh, we can't flick our brush because if you flick your brush, you get dirty paint.
I draw
Angel, drying rack, please. So those two videos I shared, the first day the kids were painting with a watercolor paint. The second day they were painting with my tempera paint. I get asked a lot about what colors of tempera I like to use. It varies from color to color. I really like Saks Versatemp. Blick Premium Tempera is great. I also really enjoy using Crayola, but I don't love their washable colors. And I also do a lot of pre-mixing. So a lot of the colors that you see have been pre-mixed for the kids, especially if we're not focused on mixing the colors. In this case, we were focused on just proper painting techniques. So these are the colors I mix. I either mix them in old bottles or I have a lot of these. You can get these at Sally Beauty. And these are great because you can just easily squirt the colors into the tray. And so these are some of the paintings my kids have been working on. The kindergartners were making Kandinsky-esque dots for dot day. So they're still painting around the edge. And then first graders use bingo daubers on bigger dots first day and then adding color the next. That makes some sense, guys. Yeah, that's all I got. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to shoot them my way. Thanks, guys.
Oke, 3 video tadi sudah saya tayangkan. Saya harap dapat membantu kalian dalam membuat closing speech. Tapi tetap berhubungan, kalau kalian membuat closing speech, tetap masih berhubungan dengan materi yang kalian nanti buat. Oke, untuk langkah selanjutnya dalam pertemuan kali ini itu yang terakhir membuat rancangan closing speech. Oke, sekarang saya beri waktu bersama tim kalian untuk membuat rancangan closing speech-nya. Oke, saya beri waktu.
Para peserta dan pendamping, kita berikan waktu untuk closing statement. Setelah ini kita buka sesi tanya jawab mengenai closing statement. Ya, para peserta dan pendamping, Bapak Ibu guru bisa, ya, waktu ini dibuka sesi tanya jawab. Kami persilahkan.
Cek satu dua cek satu. Selamat pagi. Apakah skripnya harus mengikuti contoh? Tidak harus, tidak harus.
Ya, ada pertanyaan ya, apakah skrip itu mengikuti contoh? Itu ada pertanyaan dari SMK mana itu ya? Nah, itu tidak ya, disesuaikan dengan kontennya masing-masing, dengan bahasanya sendiri-sendiri vlognya itu ya. Ya, ungkapannya variatif ya, disesuaikan aja. Ya, tidak harus seperti kaku seperti itu ya, seperti contoh. Silahkan, bisa dikembangkan.
Pertanyaan dari Nikadek Ayu Imayanti. Berapa orang yang membawakan closing speech saat pembuatan video? Itu tergantung yang membuat video, bisa disesuaikan dengan timnya masing-masing. Terima kasih. Pertanyaan dari Nikadek Ayu Imayanti. Beberapa orang yang membawakan closing speech saat pembuatan video itu boleh disesuaikan dari timnya masing-masing, karena pembawaan closing speech itu bebas untuk beberapa orang saja. Terima kasih.
Ya, untuk closing speech ini bisa dilanjutkan di tempat masing-masing ya. Untuk ke depan bisa dimasukkan di aplikasi Ore ya, untuk yang ke depan. Nah, jadi closing speech ini bisa diperdalam, bisa dibuat di tempat masing-masing ya. Kami persilahkan. Sampai ketemu lagi di pertemuan yang akan datang.
Ya, baik. Sekian dari pertemuan ke-10 ini. Saya sebagai moderator mengucapkan terima kasih yang sudah menyaksikan dari awal sampai akhir. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.